Welcome back to the final edition of the Triple Crown News Minute presented by Kentucky Equine Research. I'm Ray Paulick here with news editor Chelsea Hackbarth. Well, Chelsea, it's the end of a long road, this Triple Crown. And before we talk about the Preakness Stakes Saturday from Pimlico, let's look a little bit at the 3-year-old division and how you think they might stack up when they face older horses, really for the first time in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Well, heck, Ray, you got to come out swinging today, don't you? I suppose that's a tough question to answer because you never really know until they run against older horses. Numbers-wise, the top 3-year-olds, Authentic, Art Collector, and Tiz the Law would seem to match up with your top older horses. Improbable, Maximum Security, Tom's d'Etat, Code of Honor, etc. But, you know, there's the matter of race experience, and then, of course, making it to Keeneland, and, of course, there's the possibility that a big long shot hits everybody in the Classic, so who knows?
You know, there's been some years where, frankly, the older horse division is really weak, and I kind of don't really think this is one of those years. I mean, it may not be the greatest bunch of older horses of all time, but I think Improbable is a legit horse. He's, you know, won 3 straight Grade 1s now. Maximum Security obviously has talent. The group that's been racing back east, I'm a little leery of. Tom's d'Etat is a good horse, but he was beat on the square. And Code of Honor hasn't really gotten on track this year, and he's going in the Kelso on Saturday as a prep, I guess, for the Classic. So how do you assess the older group?
I don't think Improbable will bring his race to Kentucky. I have a couple reasons for that, namely that he hasn't done it in the Breeders' Cup yet, and I'd like to see him do it before I back him, which I guess isn't how you make money betting. But anyway, Maximum Security, clearly he wasn't quite ready, or something went wrong in his prep for the Awesome Again. I think Baffert will have him ready for the Classic. Tom's d'Etat is a little up and down, but he's got some extra time to come up to the Classic, so he should be ready to put forth his best effort. And I actually quite like Code of Honor, not this weekend, but for the Classic. He took a couple months off, got everything back together. He'll prep in a mile race, and then he'll go back to the 1.25 miles for the Classic. I think it'll certainly put him in the Classic with a chance to run his absolute best race. Is that good or not? Who knows?
All right, let's move on to the Preakness. 1 3/16, field of 11. Authentic drew the 9-post, and you know this is a track that's got a little bit of a crown on it. Once you get really far out there on the outside, the crown kind of leans a bit to the right, so it's not a really good spot for him to start from. How do you see the pace in this year's Preakness?
Everything on paper says your pace should be pretty fast. You should have Authentic, New York Traffic, and Swiss Skydiver all out there in the top. But I do think your jockeys will be a bit smarter than that on a big race day. And I think Brian Hernandez on Art Collector should break on top, honestly, on the inside, and then be able to take back and see what everybody else is going to do.
Well, I mean, there's no way you can pick against Bob Baffert. He's 5 for 5 going into the Preakness with Kentucky Derby winners. This year is a little bit different, but nonetheless, that's a heck of a record. He's got 2 other Preakness wins along the way with horses that didn't win the Derby. I assume that we're both just going to go that way, right?
Oh, heck no, Ray.
All right. Well, let's build the suspense. Listen to this message from Kentucky Equine Research. And we'll tell you who we like in this year's Preakness.
Horse feeds and supplements developed by Kentucky Equine Research are research tested and race proven. For over 30 years, top trainers and veterinarians have relied on science, technology, and products from Kentucky Equine Research to fuel top performance from the breeding shed to the sales ring and the track. Look for KER products and learn more at KER.com. Kentucky Equine Research, world leaders in equine nutrition.
All right, Ray. You said the Baffert horse, but there's two of them in here. Which Baffert horse are you picking?
Neither one.
What? You
I
said
am,
you couldn't pick against Baffert.
Look, every streak comes to an end, right? Joe DiMaggio, 56 games in a row. On that 57th game, whatever happened to him, he didn't get a hit. So there's a horse that I've liked all year, Pneumatic, Steve Asmussen. This is a really well-bred colt. His best race to me was the Matt win when he was third to Maxfield, and he ran a decent race. I think a better than looked race really in the Belmont Stakes. He got beat 7 lengths, but he's been up at Saratoga training, I think, really well. It's a little bit of a mystery because you don't see the works or anything, but I'm going to go with Pneumatic for a shocker in the Preakness over Baffert with Authentic.
Okay.
How about you?
Well, I think if the racing karmic gods have any say whatsoever this weekend, that Tommy Drury should be rewarded for his horsemanship in skipping the Derby with his horse and coming to the Preakness instead. And I think the horse has the right style to win the race. It's an emotional and a smart betting decision, I think, which those things never line up. So that means it's got to be a winner, right?
Well, this is going to be a strong second choice in the wagering, I think, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, so I don't think you're out that far on a limb, and it certainly would be nice to see, as you said, the horsemanship rewarded. It's got to be really tough to have a horse with a legitimate shot for the Kentucky Derby, a race that you've never participated in, just down the road from where you live, and it was a tough call, but it was the right call. It would be nice to see him rewarded.
Absolutely, and if not the Preakness, then the Classic. I'll take either one.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this and the final edition of the Triple Crown News Minute. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in a much more normal 2021, we hope.
We hope.